We're joined this morning by Head of our Community Trust, Adam Tutton. Good morning, Adam, and congratulations on your recent award from Bristol Life.
Thank you, Keith. Yeah, really chuffed with the award. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about the award, because Bristol Life sponsored it and you've come out as winners, but you had some strong competition, I believe.
Yeah, the awards this year for the Bristol Life Awards, which is a very well-known Bristol magazine, and every year they hold their annual awards ceremony, which recognises some of the best organisations and businesses across Bristol. We were in the charity category. We were along with 10 other finalists. Some really big names in there and some incredible charities there. So the fact that at the end of the evening we came away as winners is sort of a testament to the hard work of the team here, and we're just really pleased.
I've seen the photos of the evening. Was it unexpected that you came out on top?
Yeah, I think the reality is there were some really well-known Bristol charities in there. Penny Bronze Centre, Jessie May, Avon Air Ambulance, all charities that do incredible work across our city. So even to be in the same room as them was an honour. And when we actually got the award, I think there was a bit of a shock. I got to be honest. You know, we know we've had a great year, but obviously against organisations like that, it's something.
So why do you think you've come out on top, and what's given Bristol Life, why have they made you the award? Because of your work over the last 12 months?
Yeah, I think the Community Trust, we've had the most successful year we've ever had. An application process, as all the other organisations does, has to highlight why the year has been so good. Now, for us, I think one of the key things for us is our growth over the last year. We've gone from 2 full-time members of staff up to 9, with another 2 on their way in the next couple of weeks. We've seen a 100% increase in the number of part-time staff that we've got, and we've also won some really big projects this year, up against a lot of other Football League clubs that haven't got them. So I think, as I said earlier, it's testament to the team, it's testament to the hard work that they're putting in and the difference that we're making in Bristol.
I think a lot of people don't appreciate or realise that the Community Trust is a charity, and they think it's just an arm of Bristol Rovers Football Club, but it is an independent arm, isn't it?
We are independent of Bristol Rovers, as you said. We are the charity arm of Bristol Rovers, but obviously without the club, without the support of the club, the staff here, the owner, the chairman, and obviously the brand, we're nothing. So the two of us sort of work together. Obviously, when we're bringing more people to the ground, we're introducing people to the club that might not have met it before. And then it works for us as well in the sense of without the club. The club are brilliant, I have to say. I know that the owner was really chuffed with the award. We had a lot of thanks from the chairman. Because I think the work that we're doing is beginning to be recognised. It's having an impact to a certain extent on gate numbers and people that are coming through the door, and certainly with young people that are engaging with the club. So it works for both of us, and we're really proud to be associated with the club. You
mentioned you many projects you've undertaken this year or you've won funding for. Can you just list a few of them for us?
Yeah, we work in all areas. It's not just, I think a lot of people think that we work in a school and that's what we do, delivering some football sessions. We work with all areas of the community, regardless of age, gender, disability, any background. So one of the projects that we've won this year is Move and Learn, which is an in-schools health education programme where we sort of introduce diet, exercise, as well as having a bit of fun with football. We were also recognised as well as one of the top ranking clubs. There was 35 of the clubs achieved the highest status in our capability this year, which is basically a drilling down in what we do as a charity to check everything's up to date. So we were really chuffed with that. Our Premier League kicks and our Premier League girls projects, we sort of doubled our funding on those projects. And again, it shows the work that we're doing. It shows how many people we're engaging with. And on a week-to-week basis, we're engaging with well over 1,200 people a week, which, as you said earlier, probably people don't think that there's those sort of numbers. So we are really proud of what we've achieved.
Alongside of those projects, though, you still got your old tried and trusted. The walking football, for example, is still going. A lot of people speak very highly and tell me what they get out of that. You've got the lunchtime club every week as well. You haven't forgotten those people, have you? Where it all started?
No, I think some of our earliest projects again have been recognised because they've grown. Numbers for our extra time, which is our over 60s club, has increased. We've changed that slightly this year in that what we're now doing with that is we're now making sure that every other week we take the elderly people out on a trip to various areas across Bristol. And as you say, the walking football, another project really sort of close to our heart, started a few years ago. And again, that's sort of an example of where we're not just engaging with young people. You know, it is our whole fan base that we're trying to do projects for. So yeah.
Yeah, I know you're reaching out into the community and interested at the diversity evening a couple of weeks ago to hear of what you might be doing in the future. Is that a big project, the biggest one you're going to be taking on this year?
Yeah, one of the key areas that we are doing is looking at our fan base and trying to make sure that our fan base is representative of Bristol. One of the figures I used was that Bristol's 16% BAME. We did a bit of a non-scientific study, and we noticed about 0.2% of the current fan base seemed to be recognised as BAME. So what we're trying to do is reach out to the other communities across Bristol. We've mentioned the disability communities, but we're also looking at the BAME communities, about working with the Muslims, working with Somali groups as well. So we're really trying to sort of narrow down what we're doing and focus on new areas for us where we've not engaged with before, because Bristol is a fantastic city, you know, very multicultural, and we need to be tapping into all of those areas to make sure that we're providing for everybody.
That sounds to be quite a challenge. That will, I'm sure, will involve working closely with leaders of various sections of that community and with schools within the area.
Yeah, absolutely. What we're currently doing is, out of the diversity evening that you mentioned, what we're hoping to do is get together a panel of people from various communities with expertise in their communities. We're currently talking with some imams, we're talking with some people from the West Indian community. What we want to do is try and engage those people. Now, those expertise of how to do that come from within those communities. We're also working with the Home Office at the moment. We've put in a big application for a programme called Building a Stronger Britain, which is looking at tackling all forms of extremism in the UK and how we can bring people together. So we're very, very hopeful that we'll find out that we've been successful on a bid for that, so we can start delivering in some schools across Bristol.
Probably gone off tack a little bit, but I mean, congratulations again on your award. We saw you being presented with it on Saturday in front of the Rovers crowd here at the game for Gillingham. Again, quite a big crowd recognised and appreciated what you've done, I think.
Yeah, when the award was presented to myself and Ken Masters, obviously it was quite an emotional day out on the pitch, because obviously it was Nick Day's last day, but it was a great sort of reception from the crowd. I think the crowd are beginning to recognise what we do. We get great support every day from members of the public. When we're here on a match day, there's nothing like when the kids are going around the pitch on a lap of honour. Bristol Rovers fans are probably the best in the world at supporting their community, you know, and kids remember that, you know. So big thanks to all the fans this season, because they've been a massive help in this. Big thanks to the club. The players have been absolutely fantastic in supporting all of what we do, and you as well, Keith, with all of your support of what we do.
Well, just finally, I think a word for your team, because as you say, it has expanded, but they've quickly knitted together as one group and working hard for the club and for the community trust.
Yeah, the team have come together. We've got a real sort of fairly young team at the moment, from a variety of backgrounds, but they all bring something different to the mix, and I think that's what's sort of shown this year, is the strength is that actually we are a team, and that's what we're out doing within the community. So I'm really, really proud of what they've achieved this year, and this award goes down to them, really.
Many congratulations, Alan.
Thanks very much.